Okay, so what do we think? I'm never sure how good the scramble is compared to others, so I'm going to see if I can't make sure that we get into all the possible situations. Okay, so to start off with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself in the ready position. I suppose I could call this the Neptune position, but I haven't really gone over how to solve the Neptune cube, so why introduce that vernacular? But you can solve the Neptune cube like this as well. So I'm going to put these together in the ready position. Now I want to also point out the fact that you've got three triangles that face each other, and you've got three regular cubes around each other, so just bear that in mind too. I always have my ready position to where I've got one on the right side, one triangle on the top, and one in the front, and the one on the top is going to be the one that has two fissured type edges, none of which go along the hypotenuse here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start assembling those that go on the hypotenuse of both of these triangles. So I see the white one over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the ones that go on either side. Now, you've probably heard people in a lot of tutorials describe to do it just, quote, intuitively, and then they go through a whole bunch of series of complicated movements and getting it done, and you're left wondering what the heck did you just do and how can you say that was intuitive. So I won't say to do it that way, but you can do that. So you can stop now and try to put it in as best you can. But here's how to do that. You've got some variation of how to move things here. Or you can go ahead and put it into action position. I'm going to put it into the action position over here, again with the triangle on top. So I see white and red, and that's going to come over to here. So I'm going to place this over here, and that's placed just fine. So that was simple. Now I can move this out of the way and get myself back in the same position. So no problems. Now what about the white and blue? Well, let's find it somewhere. Could be anywhere. And the white and blue is right over here. So it's kind of far away. So let's take this out of ready position here and see if we can't move this closer. So this is in the same layer here. So let's see if I can maneuver it this way. First off, I want to bring this up. So I'm just going to bring this up over here, kind of put it in the same basic area. Now what I'm doing is I'm positioning it to where I can get this in position here. So now this was moved in. Now notice I just did some arranging and rearranging because I've got my F move and my R move and my F move. So once I get this in, I want to put this at the hypotenuse of this triangle. So how am I going to do that? Now you may find yourself struggling to try to get in this position. Here's the best way of doing it. Just try to line it up to where the white matches any of these sides here. So if I put this here, I can move down here, so I've got this over here. Now what you're going to want to do to move it to this side is find a non-triangled center. And you see that I can't really move this, so I'm going to have to free this up somehow. What's preventing me from moving is this guy here, and what's preventing this from moving is the red one. So we got to really move this out of the way and position this. I'm going to position this with sharp right angles over here so that now I've got more freedom and I can move this. So I'm going to move this over to here, and I've got to make sure that I can do a U move. Can't do it here, and I can't, well, I can do it here. That's perfect. When you find that you've done that, go ahead and do a 2U, move this into its position with the hypotenuse up, 2U, and splat. It's in. Once it's in, you tuck it away. Let's get ourselves back to ready position so we can orient ourselves. So here's our ready position. Now this is forever going to be locked into here, so we don't worry about it. I'm going to save this for the last because this one is easiest to visualize. So where's the blue fissured area? It's right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a path to take this up to here. To create that path, I've got sharp right angles over here. Move this here, so I've got sharp right angles over here, and I can just move this up. Just like this. And now I can get myself back into ready position. Now I can do the same thing. I'm going to look for the other blue ones. Here's a blue and yellow, right? I can move this over here. Splat. Now you see that it's not in the right place. That's okay for now. Just put it kind of where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to move this up to the top here, bring this back down. Okay, now I move this here because it's easier for me to navigate. Okay, I had to move this fissured area out of the way. So what you're going to want to do, I think we can maybe do a better job of getting this out of the way. So I'm just doing some positioning. Sorry about the intuitiveness of this right now, but that's fine. Okay, So I need to turn this around. Now look for two intersecting moves that you can do. As long as I can do an R move and a U move, then I should be able to do a version of RIDIRD, which will eventually bring this in. So find two intersecting layers at right angles I can move, because if I find that, then I can move this down like so. So I can do an R. This is what a commutator is, by the way. A commutator is like an X, Y, I, X, I, Y, and you just keep repeating that over and over again. So I'm going to do a R, U, R, I, U, I, R, U, R, I, U, I. If I keep doing that, it's going to get this in. So we're in. So now I'm looking for the blue and yellow. It's not here. So let's see, blue and yellow are right over here. So we have to position it to the top. Let's get this out of the way. And now I can see if I can move this in, and it matches here, but it's not quite lined up, but that's okay. Let's take this out of the way. And I want to move this back into my ready position. Ready position, these are here, they're both facing up. This on the bottom one has a hypotenuse facing away from them. So that's what the ready position is over here. So now that I have this same kind of thing, organize a commutator. A commutator is the easiest thing in puzzle solving to organize. It could be FR, FIRI, it could be FIR, FRI, and just keep doing that over and over again. So for this, we can do a R, UI, RIU, and just keep doing that over and over and over again until eventually it'll come in. We can finish it up if you wanted. So now this is in. So that's all you have to do. To generate a commutator is very easy. Just do repetitive motions on intersecting sides at right angles. The use of commutators in order to move triangles around is something that can be useful, especially in bandage puzzles if you can open up a path to that. See if this is actually going to work better. No, see, this red is still in the way here. So I can move this. This is upside down. So what I'm doing is I'm just maneuvering things where I can move this. I see sharp right angles over here. So now this can move here and this can move down. And I can still move this freely here. So that's the fun part of this, is these maneuvers. It's not too hard to just kind of play around with it. Now I need to get this, as long as I have the ability to do a U move with a non-triangled center, then I can just do 2U, move this up to the hypotenuse position, move it here, and bang, you've got that. So you're 2/3 of the way done with the first part, and that's no problem. Let's get ourselves back to ready position to orient ourselves. This is in and this is in. Now, what goes on the hypotenuse over here? Understand, this ready position is what I'm going to solve this puzzle into. And then I'm just going to do a quick turn here and here for the final solve. And you can see this all matches up. So what's going to end up in this hypotenuse is going to be this side here, which in my puzzle is going to be the white and the orange. I say in my puzzle because your color scheme might be different. So I'm going to have the white and orange one with the proper corners on each side. So move this up over here again, back to ready position. So where's the white and orange? And which side is going to be up here? Is it going to be the white that's up or the orange? Well, this orange is going to be over here, which is going to be on top over here. So I hope that makes sense, but I'm looking for the white and orange where the orange is going to be on top. Here's the white and orange over here. So I need to clear a path. Well, actually I can just put this into ready position, and now I have the white and orange over here. And it's really just a matter of moving the proper corners. Well, here's a white and orange corner. Let's see where that goes. If I move it here, this isn't the right one. Well, actually, this is the right one. So now that I have this here, let's develop a commutator. A commutator in the form of X, Y, X, Y, I, X, I, Y. So I can do this position and I can do this position. And that's all I'm going to need. Or this position and this position. So to develop this commutator, this is going to be RI, UI, R, U. RI, it's already in. UI, R, U. So it's in. Now I find the other white and yellow to match into here. Could be anywhere, and it's right over here. So the next order of business is let's take this and move this up to here. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll happen to go in. Oh, this white is in the way, no problem. Just turn this down here and move it up. So you can see it happens to be in. But it didn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be. I can bump this out of the way, and I can always get this in my ready position, move this up. See this here? If this were turned or twisted, do a commutator. So it's easy enough to generate these commutators, which you might have to do with this puzzle. Now this just needs to go to the right place. This needs to go to the hypotenuse, which is here. Double turn, move this up, double turn, and there it is. So now we're going to put this back in the ready position just to orient ourselves. So there you have it. Hypotenuse, 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 and just to show that we're on the right track, let's take this from our ready position to what our solve position would be, here and here. As you can see, all these are in. So we're creating our sides. So your first hurdle is done, and it wasn't really that difficult, I hope. So where do we go next? The next thing that we want to do is, after having put in what we wanted on these triads, these three, we're going to have to hit these centers here and this side. But this is a lot easier than you might think. The way that I would do it is on your puzzle. In your ready position with your front, the first one to put in is this edge. This edge, which is on the back and down. Now this is already in. Easiest thing in the world. This just happened to be in. It might not be. That you have to just sort of find your way to place. But let's say this puzzle was actually a challenge for a change. Where might this actually be, and how might I actually have to fix it? Okay, I never asked for things to come easy. So let's say we're looking at this. We got this in, we've got this in, we've got this in, and now we want to hit this edge over here, and this isn't the right one. So we have to find the yellow and orange in my case, look around, and it's right over here. So we've got to get this to here. How are we going to do that? Well, what you can do is you can do something of a ready position, but on the other side. So what we can do is we can move this up to here, and even move this here. So we've got this in this position, but you can see we're locked. So we might not want to quite do it that way. We can move this up here, so we have U moves over here that we can do. But this is upside down, so we just have to find a way to turn it right side up. So I'm going to put this here in the ready position, and from here I can do any number of exchanges. See what I did? All I did was a commutator. So now I have this over here. I can turn this over here, double turn it, and you can see it matches up. I just have to move it down here. I got to turn this so it doesn't block me, so move this over here, double turn, this is in, and I simply double turn it down. Now, this is as easy as it sounds, so don't let that make you sweat. Anyway, so now we're back down here. So we have this edge that's in, so we're good. The next thing that we want to do is we want to put this edge in, and what's going to be this edge in, these two edges in over here. So the way that we're going to do that, now that you put this edge in, the next thing to do is go from ready position to action position. So to get to action position, do your R, FI, and you're here. Now remember, to get yourself out of action position, you do a F and an RI, generally speaking. I consistently do that. So now that I have this here, those other areas that I had to get in, I place this edge, and this edge is easy for me to put in because it's all part of my action layer. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for the yellow and green, and the green and orange. Let's see where they're at. I've got this over here. This I'm simply going to transfer up here by doing simple commutator. I'll just do a FI UI F. So this is up here too. So now you see this is facing here and this is facing here. Now if you saw that these two were somewhere else on this side, you just do soon to get this in. What I mean by that is, let's say, oh, that's lucky, didn't mean to do that. See how easy this puzzle is? It just gets solved accidentally. I can't believe people have problems with this. I'm just kidding. It's a challenging puzzle. But anyway, let's say it's on the opposite side. So if you move this into here, I know that I need to get the orange one over here. So I'm going to put this in front of me and keep doing the RU, RU, R2, RI, the soon, basically, until this piece ends up here. RU, RI, U. R2U, RI. not there yet. Well, actually it is there. So then I can move it in. So these are all in. So this edge is in. So soon is your best friend with this puzzle. So what we're going to do is let's go back to the ready position, and you can see this is in, and this is in. So far, no problems. The next and the last edge, well, not the last edge, but the next edge that we want to place is we want to place the edge that goes, well, that's actually going to go here. And here's why I say that. Let's take this in the solve position, turn this here and here, and as you can see, we're building this side over here. I want to put this edge in. The edge is already here, it's just upside down. So if I go from the solve position here to get this edge in, let's go back to the ready position, like this. I have to turn this upside down. So let's go to our action position. Remember, I did an R and a UI. To turn this around, to turn this upside down, well, that's pretty easy. I'm just going to do some commutators. In this case, I'll do F, RI, FIR. So you can see this is becoming upside down, turn and turn. Okay, now that I have this here, I'm going to turn this over here, and then we can, well, we can do what we got to do. Now I have to coordinate this. This has to be placed over here, because when I place this here, I'll move this down, it'll be matched up where it needs to be. But this is not where I want it. So what I actually want to do is I want to move this in a situation where this is moved away from this configuration to here. So just like when I had 2 that was in, and I had to move this, or these 2, but I wanted to keep these in the same configuration, I can do my that same technique that I did with the last layer over here. So the most straightforward way to do that is, once again, hold this so that this is to the right and this is to the back. R, U, R, I, U, R, 2U, R, I. I can move this into place, and you can see this is in front of us, which is what I want. Just to show what this is, getting it out of the action position into the ready position, we do our F, RI, and now to the solve position, move this in. As you can see, we have this over here. So we're cooking. We've got these in here. Now let's take a look at these edges. Are these edges where they need to be? Well, first off, they're rotated wrong, but don't worry about that. The rotation of this is going to be taken care of with our funky new algorithm. I haven't given it a name yet, but I'll just call it funky new algorithm. Anyway, what actually has to happen is that you're supposed to have the yellow and green that's over here. So the first thing I need to do is I need to flip-flop these 2 edges. Don't worry about the orientation, just worry about the permutation right now. How do I flip this? Well, let's get ourselves back into ready position. Now let's get ourselves into action position. This moves up here, this moves up here. So in order to flip these, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the soon to do that, so that I can keep these configurations the same and flip these. But the first thing I have to do is I have to get these 2 in the same level up here. So I'm just going to do a quick commutator to move this into the slot here to exchange with this slot. So that's going to be, let's say, an R, UI, RI, U. Doesn't really matter. This is down here. I can easily get this back just by reversing what I just did. So to flip these 2 without changing the configuration of these, I do the same thing. These are the configurations that I want to be held in the same proximity to each other. So that moves to the back, or rather to the right and to the back. And I'll do RU, RIU, R2U, RI. You'll find that these are still within the same place. These have been flipped. So now I have to be careful to move everything back the way that they were. The way that I'm going to do that is whatever commutator you do, you have to make sure this ends up over here. So you can sort of surmise that if I turn this over here, this has to end up here anyway, so let's turn this over here, and let's just do RU, RI, but this is in the configuration that we want. So now what we're going to do is let's move this down. Well, so we're going to move it out of the action position into the ready position, meaning F, RI, double turn this here, and then we can see, we can even move this back. This is now in the correct place, blue and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, so we're good.